What's up, everybody? My name is Drew Mack. I'm a former stand-up comedian, and this video is going to be about how to turn your stories and jokes into stand-up bits. And the first thing you have to understand when we get into the creative industry is that there is no guarantee, no matter what you do, that your stuff is going to be good and that it is going to resonate with an audience. There's a lot of stuff that follows these guidelines I'm going to talk about that should be funny, but just isn't for some reason. And then there's a lot of stuff that doesn't follow any of these rules that is hilarious. And if you ever figure out why any of this is the way that it is, don't tell it for free on YouTube. Okay, the overarching rule of stand-up is to be funny. You may have some political points you want to make, some very witty observations, but if none of what you're saying is funny, then it is not good stand-up. All right, there's plenty of other places to get on your soapbox and say what you want to say. If you want to make people laugh, stand-up is where you do it. Something that surprises actually a large amount of people is that you are not required to tell the truth when you do stand-up, all right? This is theater. It is not a court of law. You can make up whatever the hell you do. I play a little bit of a character. I grossly exaggerate the negative parts of myself I don't like for comedic effect. So that is part of what I'm doing, all right? A lot of the stories I come up with, things happen, and I think it would be funnier in a different way, and I come up with it later. You know, if you've seen the Seinfeld Jerk Store episode where he comes up with something funny to say after the fact, I think everyone's had that happen to them. All right, stand-up is very different from other forms of comedy you may be used to, probably like comedy movies or joking around with your friends, because stand-up is entirely on you, the comedian, or whatever's happening on stage if you have a multiple person act, that you have to develop this premise, lead the audience in one way, and then deliver the punchline. So things that don't work in stand-up is like joking around with your friends. If someone says something and you come up off the cuff with a really funny rebuttal, you have to establish what the person said and the rebuttal in the same way, or in the same fucking act, right? So, and your friends and your in-jokes and stuff like that aren't going to work because the audience doesn't know your friends. All right, you may have 10 years of backstory leading up to why making fun of your friend's crippling gambling addiction is hilarious, right? The audience doesn't know that. I just said that, you're probably weirded out, like, why the hell would you joke about that? You have someone in your friend group you probably shit on for some reason or other. You're comfortable doing that. So, another thing is movies. You know, movies and TV, you see the characters on stage or on screen, they move around, you know who everybody is, and then you can see things happening. Think of The Hangover. When Zach Galifianakis walks into the bathroom and sees a tiger, right? It's funny because you see the tiger. If you tell a group of people on stage, like, hey, I walked into the bathroom to pee and there's a tiger in the bathroom, that's not as funny because they're like, what the hell? Why is there a tiger there? All right. That's more of a visual gag. Well, you have to do audio only, all right? So, how do you do that? One thing you have to do is lead the audience in a certain way and then hit them with a punchline they don't expect. I think everyone's heard someone try and tell a joke, but you get to the punchline before, or you figure out where they're going with the joke long before they get to the punchline. So it's not funny. You're like, oh yeah, I see where you're going with this thing. That's the humor, is it comes from someplace you don't expect. Now, a lot of the big name comedians you see are actually storytellers. They're doing monologues, performing stories. If you're watching a movie or a TV show, you know, you've seen these people on screen, you know who everybody is, you can keep track of who they all are. In a story, if you have, say, 15 people the audience is trying to keep track of, they're not going to have any idea what the hell's going on. So most of these stories are very simple, usually held between 2 to 3 people, you know. And they're archetypes or stereotypes of people, like my ex, my mother-in-law, my friend, my family member, brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever. And so you can get a simple understanding who these people are. Like, my dad's the stereotypical cranky old man, and he said, blah, 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 get off my fucking lawn, right? That's the kind of stuff that goes over, or that the audience can keep track of. You also can't add too much extra information to a storyline. You know, like, that's, if you see the joke about constructive criticism, that's where I was going to try and help that out a comedian with. If you watch someone like Jim Jeffries, he has a story that's 22 minutes long. It's about taking his disabled friend to a prostitute. And in the story, he has only a couple characters, and he breaks it down so that there's a joke every minute or so. It's actually really well done that he'll stop, tell a joke, and then get back with a story, tell another joke, get back with a story.